Welcome back to the channel, US Rare Coins News, Top 1. Today we are looking at a coin that many people once rejected, ignored, and even confused with a quarter, but today some of these same coins are quietly selling for hundreds and sometimes thousands of dollars. Yes, I'm talking about the 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar. At first glance it seems ordinary. Small. Silver-colored. Just another dollar coin that didn't last very long in circulation. But hidden inside a few versions of this coin are tiny details that collectors hunt for like treasure. In the next few minutes, I'll show you exactly what makes the 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar special, the rare varieties most people never notice, and one small mint detail that can turn a simple $1 coin into something collectors are willing to pay serious money for. So if you've ever seen one of these coins in an old drawer, coin jar, or family collection, you might want to watch this closely. Take a look at the coin on screen. Show a slow rotating close-up of the front of the coin. The front of the coin features Susan B. Anthony, one of the most important leaders in the fight for women's voting rights in the United States. This was the first time in U.S. history that a real woman, rather than a symbolic figure, appeared on a circulating American coin. Above her portrait you'll see the word Liberty, and below it the date 1979. This coin was introduced to replace the large Eisenhower dollar and make dollar coins easier to use in everyday transactions. But something unexpected happened. People didn't like it. The coin was almost the same size and color as a quarter, which caused constant confusion. Cashiers mixed them up. Vending machines struggled with them. And before long, the coin disappeared from circulation. But that short and unusual history actually made the coin more interesting to collectors. Now flip the coin over, show a close-up of the reverse side slowly moving under light. On the back, you'll see an eagle landing on the moon. This design might look familiar, and that's because it was inspired by the Apollo 11 mission patch. It celebrates one of humanity's greatest achievements, landing on the moon. Around the design are the words United States of America and $1. It's a powerful mix of history, the women's rights movement on one side and the space age on the other. But here's where things start getting exciting for collectors. Not all 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollars are the same. There's one tiny detail that can make a huge difference in value. Look closely at the mint mark above Susan B. Anthony's shoulder. Some coins have an S mint mark, meaning they were produced at the San Francisco Mint as proof coins for collectors. Now zoom in even closer. Some of those 1979 S-proof coins were struck with what collectors call the wide rim or near-date variety. On these coins, the rim appears thicker, and the date sits very close to the edge of the coin. On the more common version, called the narrow rim, the date sits farther away from the edge. It sounds like a small difference, but collectors notice everything, and because far fewer wide rim coins were made, they're much harder to find. Now imagine this moment that you're looking through a pile of old coins, and suddenly you notice the date sitting very close to the rim. That's the kind of discovery collectors dream about. There are also proof coins from San Francisco that show two different styles of the S mint mark, known as the Type 1 and Type 2 varieties. The clearer, sharper Type 2 mint mark is much rarer and can bring higher prices among collectors. So even though millions of these coins were made, only a small number have the exact features collectors are searching for. Now let's talk about value. Most circulated 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollars are still worth about $1 to a few dollars, but coins with the wide rim variety can sell for $20, $50, or even over $100 depending on their condition. The rare 1979 S Type 2 proof coins can reach several $100s when well preserved, and in near-perfect graded condition. Some examples have sold at major auctions for over $1,000, all from a coin that many people once ignored. Now I'm curious about something. Do you own a 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar? Take a moment and check the rim around the date. Is it wide or narrow? And look for that mint mark above her shoulder. If you find one, tell me in the comments where it came from. Did you find it in pocket change, inherit it from family, or discover it in an old coin collection? And here's another question for collectors watching this video: which coin would you love to add to your collection someday? Sometimes the most exciting discoveries come from coins people overlook every day. The 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar may have struggled in circulation, but it made history as the first circulating U.S. coin to feature a real American woman. With its connection to both civil rights history and the space program, it's one of the most fascinating modern coins to collect. Top 2. Today we are looking at a coin that millions of Americans have seen, but almost nobody realizes one small detail on it could turn a simple dollar into a collector's treasure. Imagine reaching into a jar of old coins, pulling out a big silver-colored dollar, and discovering it might be worth far more than just $1. That's exactly what has happened to collectors with the 1776 to 1976 Eisenhower $1. At first glance, it looks like a normal coin. But hidden in the design, the history, and a few rare variations, this bicentennial dollar has become one of the most interesting modern coins collectors search for, and here's the twist. Some of these coins have sold for hundreds, even thousands, depending on the version and condition. So in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you what makes the 1776 to 1976 Eisenhower dollar special, the rare details you should look for, and why collectors still hunt for this coin today. Let's take a closer look. On screen, show a slow rotating close-up of the coin. The first thing you'll notice is the date. Instead of a normal year, the coin reads 1776 to 1976. That's because this coin was created to celebrate the 200th anniversary of the United States. 200 years of American independence. The front of the coin shows the familiar portrait of President Dwight D. Eisenhower. His strong profile faces left, surrounded by the words United States of America and Liberty. It's a bold design, and the large size of the coin makes it stand out immediately, but the real magic is on the back. Cut to a dramatic close-up of the reverse side. Instead of the usual eagle design used on earlier Eisenhower dollars, the bicentennial version shows something completely different. You'll see the Liberty Bell, with the moon behind it. This design was created by a young art student named Dennis Williams, and it perfectly connects American history with the country's achievements in space exploration. The Liberty Bell represents independence in 1776, and the moon represents the space age of the 1970s. It's one of the most creative designs ever used on a US coin. Now here's where things get interesting. Millions of these coins were produced in 1975 and 1976, but not all of them are the same. Some were struck for everyday circulation using a copper-nickel metal blend. These are the ones most people find in old collections or coin jars, but a special group of these coins was struck in 40% silver. These silver versions were made mainly for collectors and sold in special mint sets from the San Francisco Mint. If you find one of these, it already carries extra value simply because of the silver content. And there's another detail collectors always check: the mint mark. Zoom in closely near Eisenhower's neck on the front of the coin. If you see a small S, it means the coin was made in San Francisco. Some of those silver-proof coins with deep mirror surfaces are especially desirable, but the real excitement comes from rare varieties and condition. Collectors look closely for strong details in Eisenhower's hair, sharp lettering, and clean fields without scratches. Coins graded in near-perfect condition can sell for impressive prices. For example, a high-grade 1776 to 1976 Eisenhower dollar graded MS67 has sold at auction for several $1,000s. Even some silver-proof versions can sell for over $100 when preserved perfectly in their original condition, and every once in a while, collectors discover small minting errors, things like doubled letters, off-center strikes, or unusual planchets. Those can push the value even higher. So that big coin sitting in a drawer somewhere might actually be worth checking carefully. Now I'm curious. Do you own a 1776 to 1976 Eisenhower dollar? Take a look at the date, check the mint mark, and see if it might be one of the collectible versions. And if you do have one, tell me in the comments where you found it. Was it in pocket change, an old coin jar, or part of a family collection? Coin collecting is full of stories like this. A simple piece of metal turns into a time capsule of history. To recap, the 1776 to 1976 Eisenhower $1 was created to celebrate America's bicentennial. It features Eisenhower on the front, the Liberty Bell and moon on the reverse, and special versions made in 40% silver. Most circulated examples are worth only a few dollars, but high-grade coins and silver-proof versions can range from around $10 to several $100s, and the very best graded examples have reached thousands at major coin auctions. That's why collectors still search for them today. Top 3. Today we are looking at a coin that many people have held in their hands, spent without thinking, and sometimes even tossed into a jar. But here's the surprising part. One version of this simple half dollar has sold for thousands of dollars at auction. Yes, a single 1776 to 1976 Kennedy half dollar that once had a face value of just 50 cents can be worth far more to collectors today, and in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly why this coin exists, the hidden details most people never notice, the rare versions collectors search for, and one small feature that could make your coin much more valuable than you expect. So if you have old coins at home, you might want to watch this carefully. Take a look at the coin on screen. Show a slow close-up of the front of the coin rotating under light. The front features the familiar portrait of President John F. Kennedy. His profile faces left, with the word Liberty across the top and the date below. But the date immediately looks different. Instead of a single year, you'll see something unusual. 1776, 1976. That double date was created to celebrate the 200th anniversary of the United States. In 1976, the country marked 2 centuries since the Declaration of Independence, and the U.S. Mint decided to honor the moment with special bicentennial coin designs. Now flip the coin over. Show a dramatic close-up of the reverse. Instead of the traditional eagle design used on most Kennedy half dollars, the bicentennial version shows Independence Hall in Philadelphia. The same building where the Declaration of Independence and the U.S. Constitution were debated and signed. It's a powerful piece of history captured on a coin. The design was created by Seth Huntington, and it instantly made this half dollar stand out from every other Kennedy coin. Now here's where things get interesting. More than 500 million of these coins were made. So at first glance it might seem like they're everywhere and not very valuable, but collectors know something important. Not all bicentennial Kennedy half dollars are the same. Some were struck for circulation using a copper-nickel metal blend. These are the coins most people find today, but another group was produced in 40% silver. These silver coins were made especially for collectors and were never intended to circulate widely. They were struck at the San Francisco Mint and sold in special collector sets. If you're looking closely at the coin, check the mint mark near Kennedy's neck. Show a tight zoom on the mint mark area. If you see a small S, that's the San Francisco Mint. Some of those coins were struck in silver and can already be worth more than their face value, but collectors go even further than that. Condition matters a lot. Coins that look shiny, sharp, and nearly perfect are graded by professional services. When a bicentennial Kennedy half dollar reaches very high grades, collectors start paying serious money. For example, a near-perfect 1776 to 1976 Kennedy half dollar graded MS-67 has sold at auction for several $1,000s. And silver-proof versions from the San Francisco Mint can sell for anywhere from $20 to over $100 depending on their condition and packaging. But the real treasure hunters search for something even rarer: mint errors. Occasionally, coins left the mint with unusual mistakes. Some have doubled lettering. Others show off-center strikes or missing design details. These small differences can turn an ordinary half dollar into a collector's prize. Imagine finding one of those in an old coin collection. Now think about this: millions of people received these coins in the 1970s and kept them as souvenirs of the bicentennial. Some were placed in drawers, jars, and boxes, where they've stayed for decades, which means many are still waiting to be rediscovered. So here's a question for you. Do you own a 1776 to 1976 Kennedy half dollar? Take a moment and check your coins. Look at the date. Look for the mint mark. And if you find one, tell me in the comments where it came from. Did you inherit it from family, find it in pocket change, or discover it in an old collection? And I'm also curious about something else. If you could add any rare coin to your collection, which one would it be? To recap, the 1776 to 1976 Kennedy half dollar was created to celebrate America's bicentennial. It features President Kennedy on the front and Independence Hall on the back, making it one of the most historic designs in modern U.S. coins. Most circulated examples are worth around 50 cents to a few dollars, while silver versions and high-grade coins can sell for much more. The very best graded examples have reached thousands of dollars at auction. That's why collectors still search for them today. Top 4. Today we are looking at a coin that many people thought would completely change money in America, but instead it quietly became one of the most interesting modern coins collectors still search for today. It's the 2000 P Sacagawea Gold $1. And here's the surprising part. Some versions of this small golden dollar have sold for hundreds, and in rare cases thousands of dollars. So what makes this coin special? Why did the United States Mint create it? And what tiny details could turn a simple $1 coin into a collector's prize? Stay with me, because by the end of this video you'll know exactly what to look for if you ever come across one of these coins. Take a look at the coin on screen, show a slow rotating close-up of the front of the coin under light. Right away, the color stands out. Unlike the silver-colored Susan B. Anthony dollar that came before it, this coin has a warm golden tone. The U.S. Mint created this color using a special manganese brass alloy so the coin would be easy to recognize and harder to confuse with other coins. The center of the design is Sacagawea, the young Shoshone woman who helped guide the Lewis and Clark expedition across the American wilderness in the early 1800s. She's shown carrying her infant son, Jean-Baptiste, on her back. It's a powerful and peaceful image, symbolizing guidance, courage, and exploration. Now slowly flip the coin over, show a close-up of the reverse side with light moving across the surface. On the back, you'll see a soaring eagle surrounded by 17 stars. Those stars represent the 17 states that existed when the Lewis and Clark expedition began in 1804. It's a simple design, but it connects American history, exploration, and the idea of moving forward. Now here's where the story gets interesting. The year 2000 was the very first year this coin was released. The United States Mint produced millions of them at several mints, including Philadelphia. If you look closely near the date on the front, you may see a small letter, P. That mint mark tells you the coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, but collectors don't just look at the mint mark, they look for something much rarer. One of the most famous varieties connected to the 2000 P Sacagawea dollar is something collectors call the Cheerios dollar. Here's the story. When the coin was first released in early 2000, a promotion placed brand new Sacagawea dollars inside boxes of Cheerios cereal across the United States. Thousands of families opened their cereal boxes and found a shiny new golden dollar inside, but years later, collectors noticed something different about some of those coins. The eagle's tail feathers on certain coins had sharper, more detailed lines than the standard design used later in production. These became known as the Cheerios Sacagawea dollars. And because only a small number were released this way, they became extremely desirable to collectors. Imagine pouring a bowl of cereal, and unknowingly finding a coin that would one day be worth thousands. Now let's talk about condition. Like most coins, the better the condition, the more collectors are willing to pay. Coins with strong details, bright surfaces, and no scratches can receive high grades from professional grading companies. And when a 2000 P Sacagawea dollar reaches those top grades, collectors start paying attention. But if it happens to be one of the rare Cheerios varieties, the value can jump dramatically. Some authenticated Cheerios Sacagawea dollars have sold at auction for several $1,000s depending on condition. Regular 2000 P Sacagawea dollars are much more common and usually sell for $1 to $3 in circulated condition, while high-grade uncirculated coins can reach $20, $50, or sometimes over $100 among collectors. So the difference between an ordinary coin and a rare variety can be huge. Now think about this for a moment. Millions of these coins were released at the start of the year 2000, and many people saved them as souvenirs of the new millennium. Some are still sitting in coin jars, drawers, and collections today, which means there's always a chance that someone might rediscover one of the special varieties. So here's something I'd love to know. Do you own a Sacagawea dollar from the year 2000? If you do, take a closer look at it. Check the mint mark. Look carefully at the eagle's tail feathers on the reverse, and tell me in the comments where you found it. Was it from pocket change, a coin roll, or an old collection? And if you could add any rare coin to your collection, which one would it be? To recap, the 2000 P Sacagawea gold $1 marked the beginning of a new era for US dollar coins. It honors Sacagawea's role in American exploration and features a distinctive golden color that made it stand out from earlier dollar coins. Most examples are still worth close to their face value, but special varieties like the famous Cheerios dollar have sold for thousands of dollars when verified and preserved in high condition. That's why collectors continue searching for them today. If you enjoyed discovering the story behind this coin and want to learn about more rare coins that could be hiding in everyday collections, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and watch the next video where we reveal another coin that might surprise you with its value, because sometimes the most valuable coins are the ones people overlook every day.